Hey guys, so as you can already tell, today's video is gonna be a random rambles video. I just have a lot going on this week and I am pre-recording. I know I say that all the time. I feel like I always have a lot going on, but I'm not exactly sure when this video is going up, but on November 22nd, Danny and I make 7 years of marriage, which is insane to me. We've been married 7 years on November 22nd. What? And we're actually going to be going out of town for a couple of days to celebrate our anniversary. So I have to pre-record for that. And then on the 23rd, it's Thanksgiving, which actually I was looking at the calendar and next year my anniversary lands on Thanksgiving. We're actually just going to go out to dinner for our anniversary, get a couples massage and go out to dinner. Filmed a video earlier today and I just spent like hours editing it, and I was supposed to film another video now, but I'm just so tired and ready for bed. But I thought I would sit down and talk to you guys for a little bit. Before I do, you guys like my frame here? I'm actually going to be hanging this on my wall. Do you guys know when I film tutorials or get ready with me videos, I always film in front of my desk, not my vanity? And you know how I have all those frames like scattered behind me on the wall? Well, I'm going to take some of those frames out. I'm going to move things around like I've been saying for 18 months. Trying to change my room around and get really inspired to film new videos and just to change things up going into the new year. I'm going to be putting this on the wall. I think it would look really cool with like a couple frames around it. Which, by the way, if you have no idea what this is a water bearer. I got this on society6.com. I love that website. I get a bunch of stuff there. They're really cool stuff. And they have like this zodiac collection. I think if you go on the website, go on Society6 and type in Aquarius Gold, you'll see. Oh, hey, Potter. If you type in Aquarius Gold, this should pop up. You guys like his shirt? That's so stupid. You'll see this pop up, and then they have them for all the zodiac signs. So if you're a Libra, type in Libra Gold on Society6 and this should pop up. And then I just bought it with the frame already, like a huge size, so that I could put it on my wall. I love it. It's so pretty. Which, if you didn't know, Aquariuses are the water bearers of the zodiac, so. Which is funny because we are an air sign. A lot of people think that Aquariuses are water signs, but they are not. Hey, you know that wall I was talking about with the frames? You can see it right here in the reflection. I could have just pointed. So I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter. I'm sure some of you do. But a couple weeks ago I tweeted that my dad gave me like a giant box of reels. They're like 8mm reels. And it was like this giant dusty box. And he told me that there were a bunch of videos of him when he was younger, like in his teens. And even some of him when he just came from Cuba, when they moved to Chicago. And he was talking about how he was gonna buy like a projector and we were gonna sit down and watch it on this projector. And I was like, listen, let me just take them. I'm gonna take them to Walgreens and I'm gonna turn them into DVDs, millennial style. And that's what I did. I took them into Walgreens and there were 30 reels and they were like $24 each reel. So that's expensive. Probably why my dad wanted to watch it on a projector, but I was like, you know what, it's worth it. Memories are so important. So I took them into Walgreens and I finally got them back a couple of days ago. And honestly, that was like the best money I have ever spent. I mainly wanted it for videos of my grandpa. I mean, also for my dad. I wanted to see my dad when he was younger as well, but mainly my grandpa. I've spoken about him a few times, mainly on like Instagram and stuff and Twitter, but my grandpa died before I was born. He died of a stroke in '89 and I was born in '92. And I have always, my entire life, felt really connected to my grandpa, which is strange because he died before I was born. But I don't know, is there anybody out there that feels the same way as I do? Because honestly, it's like the weirdest feeling, and I've felt it my whole life. Growing up, we weren't really allowed to talk about my grandpa much in front of my dad. Not that we weren't allowed, it was just a really touchy subject. He died at 54 years old. So he was very young when he passed, and he died of a stroke, and it was out of the blue and really unexpected. And my dad did not take it well at all. He still gets really, really emotional when he talks about him. And when I was younger, I want to say I was like 8 or 9, I remember I had this dream, and I had it a few times growing up, like the same dream. And it's me walking into my sister's grandmother's beauty salon. I'm sure a lot of you guys know, but my sister and I have different dads, and her dad's mom owns a beauty salon. And in my dream, I'm walking into that salon and I look up and there is a man sitting underneath like the blow dryer thing, like the big blow thing. You know what I'm talking about, but it's not down, you know, like he's not using it. He's just sitting on one of those chairs and he's I choked on my saliva. Anyway, he's just sitting there and he's wearing a white t-shirt and some faded jeans. This dream is like burned in my memory. And in my dream, I'm like standing there staring at him, like he looks familiar, and I'm like kind of looking at him and he's like, bang, bang. He's like calling me over. And I'm like scared to come up to him and he's like, bang, mama, bang. He's like calling me. And when I walk up to him and I hug him, it's my dad's dad, like my my grandfather, who I never ever met. And me and my grandpa like start hugging, and then I wake up. And I've had that dream a couple times growing up, and I have never forgotten about it. And everybody has their own beliefs and their own opinions, but my grandfather was very into San Lázaro. He really believed in San Lázaro. Like every December 17th, it was a big deal. And I get chills even thinking about it, but he actually passed away December 17th, which is insane to even think about. I mean, I don't know, do you guys believe in coincidences? Because that is a crazy coincidence to me. But he died in December of 89, so almost 90. I was born January of 92, so like almost 91 because it was January. So I was born shortly after he passed. I mean, it wasn't that long. Ever since I was a little girl, every time I heard like people talk about my dad's dad, like it would get me really emotional. I would hear stories about him and I would start crying, thinking about him and like missing him so badly when I never even met the guy. And I know I sound crazy, but I feel connected to him in some way. And please don't mind my tears. These whole movies have like opened up this ocean of tears that I can't seem to stop. But anyway, I was actually getting to a point before I went off on a grandfather tangent. I was mainly excited to see video of my grandpa because I've only seen him in photos. I've never seen him like move around, you know? And I mean, I was pretty bummed to see that there was no audio in any of this footage. I remember I had called my dad. I was like, there's no audio? He's like, no, they're 8mm reels filmed in the 70s. Like, what do you expect? I wanted to hear his voice. I wasn't able to, but I mean, I'm very grateful for what I got. Walgreens charges $1 trillion to convert your stuff. But watching that footage of my dad as a kid, it was so amazing to see how life was back then. And seeing my grandmother so young and my dad so young. There's a part where he's like in Chicago and he's like dancing around, acting crazy. It's just so funny to me because that's how I used to act when I was younger. And it's just nice to look back on those memories. Like, I'm so grateful that I have that now. Seeing my grandparents together, like in these clips, and dancing together and being like so in love and happy with their 3 kids, it made me feel so warm. It broke my heart to pieces. I watched those clips last night here in my room with my headphones on my laptop, and I was just watching the videos and I was just crying. It just shows you that life really is so short, and all you have are these moments and these memories. And now, like, all you have is right now. Tomorrow isn't promised, so we have to spend as much time with our loved ones as we can, and take lots of pictures while you can. Record your memories, and not for YouTube, but for yourself. I mean, if somebody would have told my grandpa that day at the park in Chicago that his granddaughter would be watching that video like 40 years later, like, would he believe it? That's just so insane. And my camera's about to die, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But I thought that even though, you know, I am a very private person, and you guys know I don't like to go into detail about my personal life, I thought I would share with you guys a few clips of my family, you know, videos from the 70s, just so you can see my dad when he was younger. I'm gonna show you guys clips of him when he's like 11 in Chicago, and then when he's a little bit older already in Miami. And you'll see my grandfather and my grandma, my aunt and my uncle, and my dad. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up here, and I'm gonna insert some footage, and I hope you guys enjoy a little piece of history, I guess. But yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.